mistake people make in their lives is traditional education. It's a waste of time, it's a scam. And I always tell people why it's a waste of time, why it's a scam. Like there's the double inflation principle that I coined myself, the fact that more degrees exist every year, which inflates them because they're less valuable because more exist. Plus the price goes up every year, which means it's less valuable because it's more expensive. If more exist, the price should go down. Scarcity and value are linked, but there's some kind of double inflation that goes on with education, which is propagated by the mainstream think tanks because they want to put you in there and they want to brainwash you. They want to put you in there and they want to turn you into not actually teach you anything that's useful, just turn you into a little worker drone. Nobody goes to university and leaves knowing how to get rich. And if you look at all the richest people in the world or all the most successful people, they'll say, I didn't go to school, or I quit university, I dropped out. Because you're not learning anything about getting rich. You're sitting there just being brainwashed. It's all I ever want to do is get rich. I didn't give a if I got rich breaking rocks or got rich being a professional fighter. I didn't care. I want money. I was not passionate about some business. I was passionate about money and money only. If you read books, you'll be rich. Lie. You can read books all day, you're not gonna get rich. That's a lie. These other think positive, you'll be rich. Another lie. What do you mean? If I read books and I think happy, money appears in my bank? No, it does not. Speed. Now, I tell this to everybody all the time, and nobody understands what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna try and articulate it. Speed is extremely important in business. Everything that needs to be done must be done fast. That doesn't mean it has to be done cheap or it means it has to be done quickly. People seem to conflate the two, that if you do something quickly, it must be terrible. That's not the case. When you're a professional fighter, you learn to punch. Your instructor says faster, faster, faster. You learn to punch faster. You don't degrade your punch. You don't start punching like an idiot. You keep the same quality of punch, but you do it quicker. Now, nobody in the world, the modern world especially, and I'm going to say this, a caveat that I've learned across my career as well, especially if you're dealing with creative people in any kind of regard, they don't understand speed. Numbers people kind of understand speed. Creative people don't understand speed. And this is they have a strength and a weakness there. With creative people have something I don't have. They're very creative and they can see things I can't see, but it takes time. I'm the complete opposite. I want everything done straight away now. But speed is super important for a business, and I'm going to tell you why. So whatever you're thinking of doing, whatever the business you're thinking of running, you need to do things quickly. If an airplane, everyone knows how planes work, is flying through the sky, arrow, beautiful demonstration for you there, a beautiful diagram. Even if its engines fail, it will continue to fly. If the engines fail, it will not fall out of the sky and instantly crash to the ground. It will continue to fly. Do you know why? Because it has forward momentum. It's going forward, and that means the wings are creating lift, air is going underneath the plane. As long as the plane goes forward, it will not fall and fail. And a business is exactly the same. The key with business is to make sure you're always moving forward, always producing content, and always doing everything you can as quickly as possible while maintaining the quality. Do not conflate quality with speed. You can do the same. If you have an idea right now and you have someone you're working with, let's say you need a new website. You tell the company it's going to take 2 weeks. No, it's not going to take 2 weeks. It's going to take 3 days. We're going to find someone else. We can't do it in 3 days. I'll find someone who can. You can build a good website in 3 days. People have unrealistic, stupid time frames. Everyone thinks things take forever. Things don't take forever. Things can be done quickly. I know, because I've done it. I've pushed people or done it myself and seen what's can be done. Do you know what I could do in 2 weeks? Me, as a man who knows nothing about web design, in 2 weeks I could learn web design and build a website. And I know nothing. So how can you, the guy who knows websites, take 2 weeks to build a website? It's garbage. Everyone is slow. And being slow is deadly to a company for 2 reasons. One, the faster you get things online, the faster you start making money. Now, if you make money today because you were in a rush, let's say you quickly push and you get it online today and you make money. That's one universe. And another universe where it takes a week and you get it online. That week of making money is gone. That money is lost. The longer it takes to get something online, the less money you're gonna make as a whole. If I start a company today to the end of my life and start a company next month to the end of my life, the one I start today has been running longer. It's gonna generate more money. The quicker things are done, the quicker money is made. It's as simple as that. That's starting a company. Even if a company is already online, speed is super important once again. I'll give you an example. Let's say, I don't know, producing an advert. The faster you produce an advert, the faster it's out, the faster you get results. If you do it quick enough, you might be able to produce 2 adverts in the time that other people take to produce 1. Now you have double the advertising that other people have. Speed. You have to attack and you have to move quickly. When I talk to people say to me all the time, I have a business idea. I'll say, okay, cool. A week later, I'll say, how's your business? They'll go, what business? You have an idea and it's been a week. Where's your company? Where's your business? It's been a week, you ain't done shit. People are lazy, people are slow, people are complacent, including you. Everything must happen instantly, quickly, fast, speed, attack. Hitler conquered Europe with blitz. You need to go quickly. I cannot emphasize this enough. Speed is important. Nothing can be slow. So, speed. If you are moving fast, you cannot fail. Speed wins. Get the money in, get a deal, produce the advert, get it out, get someone else in, get money now, speed. No, we can't wait. When's the meeting? Oh, next Wednesday. No, it's not next Wednesday, it's tomorrow. Tell them we'll go there tomorrow. They can only travel to us next Wednesday. We'll go to them tomorrow. We have to close the deal now. Money, 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 money now. Speed. I cannot emphasize this enough because it is my entire business philosophy. If I had to give you one important point, this is the reason this is the first point. Speed. And everybody is slow. And if you start to work like me, you'll realize everyone's slow, and that's okay. But things must happen quickly. It's extremely important. Most of you don't know what a business is. A business is money in. A business is nothing else but money in. It's not money out. It's not your accountant. It's not your logo. It's not your website. A business is money into a bank. So, a drug dealer who has money going into his pocket is more of a businessman than someone with a registered trade logo and an accountant and all this garbage who ain't getting paid. You own a business if you're getting paid. That's what a business is. So please understand this point, because this is a very important point. You need to understand how to look and approach at a business. So cash is first. So let me give you an example. I say to people, start a company. How would you start a makeup company? And they go, okay, well, I'd find some makeup and I'd get a logo and I would I'd get a trademark, and then, I'd need stock. Listen to all the things they're mentioning. Find makeup. We're gonna have 2 things. We have things that cost money and things that make money. As a business, your primary concern is always making money. And when people think of how to start a business, all they start thinking about is how to spend money. Oh, I need to find a makeup brand. I find some makeup and test it out, and then get a logo and get some labels made and get a warehouse and get a website and spend. Where's the money in? Where's the money? This is a business. Where's the money? You're talking about spending money. I'm talking about making money. So as a hustler, you always have to be about making money. Money in is a business, not money out. The amount of people I've spoke to said, I have a business. I go, what have you got? Oh, I've got this, and I've got a registered trademark, and I own this. And I know you've all watched Dragon's Den, and you think it's important with your registered trademark, and you own this, and you got the logo, and you got the labels, and you got the product, and you got blah, blah, blah. You're not making any money. No one's paying you. It's not a business if no one pays you. It's a business when people are paying you. Until then, it's circle jerk. It is much better to have this right and this wrong. Understand me, it's much better to have this right and this wrong than the other way around. That is extremely important for you to understand. If I had to start a makeup brand, I would do none of this. 0. Do you know what I'd do? I'd make a website with makeup on it and prices, and I'd start advertising. Bang! Now I'm making money. I'm getting orders. I don't have any makeup. I don't have a warehouse. I ain't got a logo. I ain't got a trademark logo. I ain't got nothing, but I'm making money. With money, you can fix the problems. So when I've got money in my bank, then I email everyone, the product you've ordered, the one you're interested in is in such high demand that we're sold out. There'll be a slight delay in delivery of your product, but don't worry, we're gonna give you one for free. Or we're gonna give you a free gift. Thanks for being a valued customer. Now this person's gonna wait. They're like, free gift, okay, I'll chill, I'll wait. Now you have 3 or 4 weeks to find some makeup to put in the mail. But at least you got money. You got money in the bank. You've spent none of your own money, or hardly any. You got money coming in, and now you got to find a way to fulfill the orders. That goes back to business lesson number 1, speed. Now you got to quickly find some makeup, find a logo, stick it on, put it in mail. But doing that makes more sense than this. What if you do all this and then you try and advertise and no one buys? Then you've lost. If we do it my way, I advertise, no one buys, I ain't lost anything. Big whoop. Who cares? No one wants my makeup. Oh well, good thing I don't have 500 boxes of it sitting in my bedroom. A business is money in. When you want to start a business, your number one concern is, how do I get money in? Nothing else. Everyone who starts a business starts talking about everything else. We need an office. Why do you need an office? No one's paid you yet. And you're talking about an office? I need a new laptop. Why? No one's paid you yet. You're talking about a laptop? You don't need anything until people start giving you money. Money in is a business. Money out is vanity. It's very easy for me to think of a business, buy an office, buy laptops, hire staff, get an accountant, sort out the tax records, register the company online, get business cards, get a logo and get that trademarked, and I'm doing all I'm spending all this money, wasting all this time, and no one's paid me anything. It ain't a business. When you come at me with a business plan, my first question is, where's the money? When you want to start a business, the first question is, where's the money? How are you gonna get paid? Is it PayPal? Is it Stripe? Is it Bitcoin? How are you gonna get paid? How can people pay you? And how are you gonna convince them to do that? How are you gonna convince them to pay you? When you've worked that out, you can work the rest out. A business is money in, nothing else. Start ideas for free. People come to me all the time, Andrew, I have an idea for a business. Maybe you need a small investment. It's normal. Let's say you're developing an app, you need to invest in the app, something. That happens. But a lot of people ask for insane amounts of money, 50 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, to start my business. You can start businesses very, very cheaply if you do it the right way. Let's look at our beautiful demonstration, our beautiful diagram here of our makeup company. If you start a makeup company this way, you need minimum 200 grand. You need an office, you need logos, you need trademarks, you need stock, you need staff, you need company incorporation, you need tax, you need accountants, you need advertising budgets, you need 200 grand. 200K to start this business. If you start business this way, make a website, put some pictures on there, pretend you've got a whole bunch of stuff you ain't got, and start getting money in, you can start this business for 5 grand. Let's say for the website, 5 grand. That's 195 grand difference. Now, the problem with this business is you're gonna start getting money in and you're not gonna have any way to fulfill the orders. But back to business. Because you're a fast worker, because you're industrious, because you work with speed, you'll find a way to fulfill the orders. Hey, listen, worst case, you give them the money back. Worst case, you refund them. But at least with this idea, you can test the viability of your plan, 1. And 2, you're not in the hole. So let's assume both companies are bound to fail. Here you've lost 5 grand. Here you've lost 200 grand. Why risk all that money when you can do it cheap? Also, with 5 grand startups, you can now, for the same price as starting one company, you can now start 40 companies. One of them's gonna work, because they're 5 grand each to start. One of them's gonna work. So you have to learn that the idea of starting a business is not expensive. Get that out of your head. I'm a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, and I will not spend more than 5 grand launching a company. 5 grand max. I'll spend 5 grand, and if I see money coming in, maybe I'll invest some more. Or when the money starts coming into the makeup company, you might reinvest all the money. That's fine, because that ain't your money. That's money you're making. You can build a company off the money you're bringing in from the company and never spend your own money. That's how you launch a company. Now, every time I say this, people go to me, oh, well, what about this? What about that? If you're gonna launch a airplane company and try and compete with Boeing, you need money. Obviously, some of the biggest mistakes you can make is investing lots of money. When you're broke, it's hard to make mistakes because you don't have any money to lose. When you're rich, it's easy to make mistakes because you have a lot of money to lose. Start companies as cheaply as possible, basically for free, by prioritizing money in and not prioritizing fulfillment. That way, you get to start companies cheap, you can start a lot of them, you have money coming in the door, and you can reinvest money you're making in your company and build your company from the ground up. About speed, about money in being priority over everything else, and about starting businesses with this focus as opposed to the cost focus, money in as opposed to fulfillment. That's good. I've already taught you more than you're gonna learn about business anywhere else. That's key, because if you do things this way, it's very hard to have a monumental. It's very hard to lose money. And also, now you can start nearly any company.